Hey guys, today is September 24th, 2020, and by a request I thought I'd talk to you today about tigrinus catfish, formerly known as Merodontotus tigrinus, and the more contemporary name is Brachyplatystoma tigrinum. Right now all our tigs are in this 1800-gallon tank, and we have 8 of them. What can I tell you about the tigs? They're pretty sedentary kind of fish. They don't swim as much, not in the day time anyway. I'm not sure about the nights. They're a bit more active at night, it seems. But during the day they are mostly just sitting in one spot, maybe doing a few laps here and there, and then they go back to their spot. All the tigs we have here, that's probably one of our biggest. That's about 28-inch tig. All of ours are range from about 22 inches to 28 inches. And they are between 4 and 5 years old or so. Some of them may be only 3.5 maybe or so. 3.5 to 5 years old. It is well known and well reported that in small tanks you cannot house 2, 3 tigs, maybe 4. I don't know how many, where the cutoff point is, because they are rather territorial and they don't appreciate their own kind. They don't even like other Brachyplatystoma from the same genus as they are. Well, I was gonna challenge that notion and tried raising this together in one tank, in a 240-gallon tank. There were before. There were 9 of them in there. We lost one, so then there were 8 of them in there. And after that they went to live into this tank, 1800-gallon, after they grew well enough. To go into a larger tank. And my experiment was met with more or less, I would say, after all is said and done, with a success. At first I thought I failed, and then things got better and then worse and then better, and then worse and then better again. And by better and worse I mean the comfort level of the tigs, the amount of damage on them. As you can see, there is still some squabbles. You see the little damage on the tip of the pectoral fin of this big guy, the little abrasion right here. But this is what I consider rather tolerable. It heals quickly. So I go by the comfort, by their appetite, and by the external damage. That's the evidence of fighting and disputes. So when I say better and worse, this is what I mean. So usually in the smaller tank, about anywhere from 2 to 5 of them would pile up and lay in one corner behind the drain screen, which told me they were not very comfortable, while the rest of them was scattered around the open area in the rest of the 240-gallon tank. And then at some points there was only 1 or 2 of them would do that, and then again maybe 3, 4, and then again 1, 2. But even when they were laying behind the screen, when I would throw the feed in the tank, they would come out and eat with gusto. So I knew they were not doing that not too shabby. But of course it's not desirable for them to be piled up like that. That's one of our biggest tigs. And then I think things got much better when they got transferred into this 1800-gallon tank, because here they could spread around and they don't have to touch each other, which for any territorial fish brings a certain level of stress for them. Their appetite has always been pretty good, except for one biggest tig, which could be this guy. This guy really scared me at some point, because this fish fasted for 7 or 8 months. I mean, it did not eat for 7 or 8 months when it was about 2 feet long. And I thought I was gonna lose it. I didn't know what was wrong. There were no evidence of anything that was wrong. But then it rebounded. So we got really lucky in that regard. But in general, they were pretty easy for me, unfussy. I have never done anything special. I mean, I bought all of them at about 2 to 3 inch size from 4 different vendors. And I probably spent about $125 each on them. And I never had to do anything special, like win them off live food, which I never offered anyway, or anything like that. I did what I always do. I throw a mixture of pellets and cut frozen fish in the tank, and then the little tigs would just pick and choose what they wanted. And funny enough that some of them would pick only pellets, others would pick only fish, and yet the third group would just eat both without discrimination. And that sort of continued into their adulthood, even though they could have switched from one end to the other, from one group to the other, as they wished. But that tells me that a lot depends on the personality and just randomness, maybe a gender as well. But as I said, all those, at some point we had 11 little babies like this I raised together, and some of them choose pellets or fish or both without any rhyme or reason that I can see. So to me that means unpredictability and just personality. It also probably depends what they were fed before they came to me. And it didn't take that long for them to start feeding. Usually after they arrive, within a week, they would start eating rather well. So I never had to give them any live foods, no live feeder fish, no live worms, none of that. Just straightforward diet, which I offer to all of my fish, pellets and the frozen cuisine. Yes, I mentioned we had 11 of them at one point. Now there's only 8 remaining, so we lost 3 of them. 2 of them we lost to, I don't know why, no good reason. They just were fine one day and dropped dead the next day. And one of them was killed in that 4,500 gallon tank by a much larger Piraiba. When that tig was 18 inches, a 30-inch Piraiba caught it and held it in its mouth until the tail got half digested and then spit them out. So that's why we're still, that's why we came down to 8. They are gorgeous fish, of course. Debatably one of the, or not one of the, but the prettiest catfish in the world. They're also called zebra catfish because they have a zebra-like dark and light pattern on them. They're a fast water fish. They need high oxygen. They prefer some flow. They like the flow. And they sit right in the flow with their whiskers spread out, sensing for any kind of food item to be swimming by. They have extension on their tail, on both upper and lower lobe, as you can see on this tig. Oftentimes it gets beat off by competition or by tank mates. Like this one got short filaments, and the bottom lobe has 2 filaments instead of 1. I don't know how to sex them, so I do not know which one is a male, which one's a female. They all look about the same to me. Some of them are fuller in the body, but I don't know if that's because they eat more or if it's because they're the female. With many species of catfish, females grow bigger and are fuller in the body, because they have to house bigger reproductive organs than the males. But I've never really studied how to sex tig catfish, and I've never tried that. Perhaps I should. Having 8 of them, it'd be nice to know how many are male and female. I've never seen them show any kind of breeding behavior, not that I noted anyway. The only interaction I usually see is either indifference, that is lying next to each other, or some minor squabbles, wherein they show their kin that they don't like them. They don't like the light too much either. I keep this tank usually dim, so that tig is a little nervous. It doesn't know why there is light. There shouldn't be light. You can see a little bite on its tummy right here, a little abrasion. Looks from another tig by the size. But all in all, I mean, they look to be in a good shape. I don't think I could ask for more. Okay, so this is our tig story. As I said, my experiment housing 8 tigs in a 240 gallon when they were smaller, and now for about half a year or about 3-4 months now in this 1800 gallon tank. I would pen it down as a success. It can be done with minimal damage and good appetite and good growth and good health from all the tigs involved. So there is my little spiel on the tigs. Thank you guys so much. Always appreciate your kind wishes and your watching and giving us good marks and giving us support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye.